Hey guys, welcome back to the Fans First Talk Show. Today's episode is all about the latest G.I. Joe Classified reveals. We're ranking them, reviewing them, and breaking down everything you need to know, including some insight from the Hasbro team. 2025 is shaping up to be an absolute monster year for G.I. Joe fans, and so far, the lineup has us fired up. We're bringing you first reactions, deep dives, and plenty of hype all year long. Even when news slows down, we'll keep the energy going, because waiting for new figures should be just as much fun as unboxing them. Let's get into it. Here's what's on the way this year so far. And let's start in the main line. We've got Frag Viper, Darklon, Blowtorch, Footloose, Snake Eyes version 4, Sci-Fi, Monkey Wrench, and Night Viper. Then some retail exclusives. There's the Mass Device Breaker and the Divers 2-pack, those are both for Target. Then Crystal Ball, you'll be a Walmart exclusive. But that's not all. There'll be at least one more Target 2-pack, and this will be for the Mass Device, as well as a pair of 2-packs for Walmart. So there are more Night Force and Dark Energon figures to come. Then over to the retro card back line. There's Cobra Viper, Dr. Mindbender, Rock and Roll, Flint, Covergirl, Televiper, the G.I. Joe Green Shirt Trooper, Cobra Bat, and one more. Then for the collectors who want it all, there will be some exclusives and deluxe offerings. The following are Hasbro Pulse exclusives: the Cobra Defense Perimeter and Trench Viper, the Cobra Claw and Valkyrie's Pilot, the Slice and Dice 2-pack, the Awe Striker and Crankcase, the Mass Device Radioactive Snake Eyes and Polar Bear, and the Cobra Snake Armor. There are still a few other Pulse exclusives to come. We'll get to those shortly. Then for the deluxe figures, there's Law & Order and the Legacy Collection Firefighter. And finally, the Cobra Rattler HasLab. The 2025 Classified Series lineup is already looking stacked with heavy hitters, fan favorites, and some surprises. Today we're going to rate and review the latest G.I. Joe Classified reveals. Watch until the end, we'll tell you which are the best and which ones to avoid. We're going to rank them in order from best to worst, so stick around and watch until the end. Dex, we're starting with a brand new one. This one's going to be awesome. It's the Cobra Snake Armor. What's your first reaction to seeing this?
It looks like Deep Six. It's huge and looks so good.
It's even bigger than you realize. This is probably going to be 10 inches tall or maybe even bigger. There's going to be room inside the cockpit for one of the figures to sit inside. How cool is that?
That's really cool.
And this has a lot of articulation too for something that big. It's got like bicep swivels, the elbow bends, the wrists rotate. Same thing with the knees and legs. So this is going to be pretty impressive. The spare weapon should store on the back. And overall, I think this looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like a transformer. It looks huge. Comes with a bunch of different accessories for interchangeable hands and stuff. It looks really fun. And some of the other blast effects should be able to fit on here.
Like other ones from other figures, you think?
Yeah.
I think so too. That would be pretty good to mix and match and make this thing as ultimate as you can. Now we're giving our early ratings here. So Dex, why don't you get us started with the Cobra Snake Armor? What would you give this out of 10?
I'd give it an 8. It doesn't come with much, but it still looks really cool.
And I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because this thing is pretty impressive. It looks just like it did in the cartoon, maybe even better. Putting a figure inside, that should be pretty awesome. So I'm going with a 9 out of 10.
Next, over to the Awe Striker.
Now, what do you think about this one, Dex? This is a dune buggy, comes with a driver, a whole bunch of new accessories, and there's some modifications to this to make it a little more modern.
Yeah, I like that it has a bunch of different seats so you can hold more than just one guy in it, and all the accessories look really good that he comes with.
And as big as the Vamp and the Stinger are, this actually holds more figures.
And the tall part of the roll cage can be removed, so you don't have to have it. We don't know about the main part, though, but the big, huge part does.
Yeah, so you can customize it to your liking. So if you want it to look a little more vintage and a little more classic, you can do that. And you can also take out that third seat in the back and make it just look a little more retro. So some people are complaining that, oh, it doesn't look the same. Well, yeah, it's been 40 years. Things change and things improve. And this is much better overall than the original Awe Striker, and you can even modernize it as well. So you do have options. It's all up to you how you want to assemble it yourself. And then there's the driver Crankcase. This is the best version of Crankcase that I recall ever seeing, especially in Classified. There's so much more detail. But he comes with goggles, a driving helmet, a military helmet, a visor as well to wear instead of a hat. He's got a neckerchief, a bandana, handgun, knife, a whole assortment of different accessories here.
And he comes with a coffee mug, so that means that there's a little hole for the thing to go into in the vehicle.
Yeah, all of a sudden we went from just getting 6-inch vehicles, and that was a big impressive accomplishment on its own, and now we're getting cup holders. Like, it's an improvement from patches, in my opinion. And what do you think about Crankcase overall?
He's pretty cool, but I do think that he could use a little bit because he looks like every other driver, just a plain army builder pretty much, but he still looks really good.
And Dex, what do you think about his driving helmet? It almost looks like a paintball helmet in my opinion. I think it's going to look awesome once he's got the goggles on and the helmet. What's your take on this?
It kind of looks like a dirt bike kind of helmet, so I think that we might see this later down the line with more dreadnoughts, like if we have dreadnought army builders.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that'd be really good reuse. I like that.
Yeah. Ratings. What would you rate it out of 10?
I'm going 9 out of 10 on this one. It looks impressive. I like this dune buggy. In fact, I think it's going to be a lot more versatile than a lot of the other vehicles that we've gotten just because it's kind of in between the Ferret and the Vamp. So it's a great size, holds a lot of figures. It should probably be higher than 9 out of 10. But this is our early rating. We'll give another set of ratings once we actually get this. Now, how about you, Dex? What would you give this out of 10?
I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I like all the different accessories it comes with and how you can hold 3 seats instead of having 2 like most of the other vehicles. But all the different things he comes with, the helmets, the visors, even the coffee mug, I think that is really cool.
This guy comes with everything you want a driver to, and I love this dune buggy as well. Next up, we've got a 2-pack. It's Slice and Dice, Cobra's deadliest ninja duo. Slice is the red ninja, and Dice is the purple one. Dex, let's get your first take on this.
I think the figures look really good, but I don't like their weapons at all. They look good, but they just kind of remind me of Walmart Ninja Turtles. Their head sculpts look amazing. The hat that he has is a really good hat. But the weapons, though, they just look so one colored. Some of them have a little bit of black paint on them. They just look super thick. They look like.
Is that a problem though? Because they're not the star of the show, right? Like these two characters are highly detailed, highly sculpted. I think they're the star of the show, and yeah, I agree with you.
But the one time I'm asking for repaints is for this pack. Give me the ones from the Red Ninja. Give me all those weapons. Don't give me these new ones. They don't sure they look cool.
Hard to disagree on that.
But I like the stuff from Red Ninja way more.
You're a big fan of the Red Ninjas. That's been established. I'm not a fan of ninjas mostly in general, but I think these guys look impressive. Very nice looking figures, as you said. I'm not so concerned about the weapons, though, but I do hear you.
Because, how many times are they going to reuse these weapons?
Oh, these will be reused a bunch going forward, because they're members of Ninja Force that are still yet to be made.
But they already had ninja weapons.
And now we have more. It's not a bad thing. We gotta be picky about what we complain about, right? So here, if it's just we've got new weapons, there's little bits of paint details on this that I do appreciate, little bits of red that are probably gonna bleed into the background of this digital render right now and not be appreciated. Overall, I think this is a very nice 2-pack. Now, Dex, what would you give Slice and Dice out of 10?
I'd give him an 8.5 out of 10. The figures are really good. I'm just not a fan of the weapons.
Okay, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I do recognize how good these look, but it's not for me, so I'm not that excited. But I know that a lot of people out there are going to be excited, and for good reason, especially Dice. The purple guy, man, that guy is so sculpted. A lot of new parts, too. Gotta give credit to Hasbro where they deserve it, and in this case, there's a lot of new. I appreciate that. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button, and make sure you're subscribed. And then next, it's one of my all-time favorites, Dark Lawn. Now, some people are already out of G.I. Joe by the time this guy came along. One of the last G.I. Joe O-ring figures that I remember getting. But he doesn't come with his Evader vehicle. I totally understand why he didn't. It's not an iconic vehicle. It's just not necessary, I think. Hasbro's putting their efforts into things that people actually want, like the Awe Striker. And I would rather have a Polar Battle Bear, the Snowmobile, as opposed to an Evader.
And I would prefer they didn't make this figure. This figure looks terrible.
Oh, come on.
I don't care if you like it or not. It looks terrible. It does not look good at all. He has a laser rifle, one sword, and a knife. It does not look good at all.
Why? I mean, why do you think that? The sculpting on the helmet.
He does not look like...
Wow.
He looks like he's from Tiger Force, but he's supposed to be Cobra. I don't know where this guy's supposed to be fitting in. Don't know what he's helping with. He's like the guy that just sits there and does nothing and takes all the credit. It does not look like he could do a thing.
Well, people have been asking those questions since this first came out in 1989, so it is what it is, but we've got a brand new head sculpt off to the side here. This silver and black one. It's got Celtic designs and engravings all over it. It's got a metal tongue sticking out. There are vampire fangs there if you look closer. Now, we could call them cobra fangs, but in this case, look at those. Those are vampire fangs. We've already got Crystal Ball coming out with vampire fangs himself. Now we've got Darklon's mask with some fangs. What are we doing here? Where are we going with G.I. Joe Classified? I'm not criticizing.
I don't know, but it looks like we're going downhill with this figure.
Oh my god. Alright, as a big fan of Darklon, I don't want to hear any of this. His helmet that's on the figure right now, I think that's a mask, because you can see right around the eyes when you really zoom in, there's a little bit of darkness, a little shadow. So I think that helmet probably pops off. There's a new head sculpt underneath. And again, as a big fan of Darklon, this helmet is what this guy's all about. Not the greatest, like, he's not eye candy, okay? The colors are clashing. This is how it came out in 1989. If Hasbro had just given us like a blue one or something like that, people would be wondering, what in the world? Just give us what we got in 1989.
Just make him all black. He'd actually look cool all black, not having these green little tiger stripes on the top and then some like maroon and brown, like super light brown pants. It looks like he just went to a thrift store and bought whatever was the cheapest possible. It looks like he just has a huge rail gun beside him. Like the ones that you just hold down for a while and then it shoots his big laser rifle, or like a big laser down the middle. They do nothing pretty much.
How would you know?
Fortnite.
It all comes down to Fortnite, guys. I like the weapon just because that goes with Darklon. It's his signature weapon. It's got to be made up, right? Like, I'm not big into all this sort of stuff, but it looks like it's got some sort of a high compression tank underneath or something, and it's pretty cool, I think.
I don't get what it's supposed to be.
I don't know either. I don't think anyone has that answer.
The barrel is way too big on the gun. You do not need a barrel that is bigger than the scope.
This is part of the sci-fi world of G.I. Joe, where we have to put our, logic off to the side sometimes and just accept what they give us. But overall, let's get to the ratings.
How are you supposed to reload the gun?
These are questions that we'll never have answers to, Dex. We just have to accept that this is just the way Darklon is.
He's got bullets on his legs, but it looks like he has an air gun and then a flare gun.
Yeah.
What are those bullets for?
I'm not really sure. Those cartridges, it's not clear that they go with his weapon, so I'm not sure exactly, but good question. Maybe there are more accessories that they didn't show, but I can't imagine that there are. This is part of the mainline wave.
Hopefully a second pair of pants. Those are not nice.
What about the sword? That's an awesome looking sword. It dates back to, I think, 500 BC. It's a Celtic sword.
It would have degraded by then.
I'm not saying it's originally there, but the design goes back to 500 BC. I think this is a great, look how big it is. It's over half the size of Darklon. That's a nice battle sword.
The sword looks pretty cool. For once, they actually put more than one color on a sword. It's not just all black, even though swords aren't black. It's finally now two different colors, where the handle isn't the same color as the blade. So that's nice.
We'll call that a win.
Oh, and there's a third color on there. There's a gem. Oh, and there's a gem on the blade, too, or on the tip.
It does look like that, yeah. Yeah, on the end and right at the hilt.
It looks like claws.
Yep, exactly. Oh, so there we go. Darklon has some nice sculpting and some hidden features. Look at that. It's a great figure. I didn't pick the colors, Dex.
Black, brown, maroon, green.
So maybe Hasbro should have come and asked you what would look good and what would appeal to the younger generation, because you're definitely not a fan of Darklon.
I say we go to the ratings now.
Sure, let's do that. What would you give him out of 10?
I'd give him a 2 out of 10 because the guns are pretty nice and the swords. The helmets and both of the head sculpts are really nice. They need to just make a repaint one of this, a different line one where he's just all black and looks like a stealth one, because you're not going anywhere with that. You are going to be seen from a mile away.
Welcome to the world of G.I. Joe. Yeah, exactly. Repaint with darker tones. I would be down for that, but again, I'm a big Darklon fan. You can put him on the list with Road Pig, Law & Order, Mercer, guys like that. I will like every version that they ever produce.
I think the only way to fix this figure is by swapping out the head with Flint's head, so it just looks amazing.
Yeah, we know that you're a big fan of the original Flint.
What would you rate it out of 10?
Well, higher than 2, that's for sure. I'll give this guy an 8 for now, but I'll probably bump it up once we receive him, because, I mean, it's going to be nostalgia bombs going off in my head at that moment. This guy looks great. I stand by it. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you like this Darklon? Which side of the fence are you on? Sound off in the comments and let us know how you feel about Darklon. And who's right here? Is it Dex or myself? We want to hear from the community and find out how you guys feel. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed.
Next, Mass Device Breaker. This figure looks amazing. I love all the different head sculpts he has, or the 2 that he has. The bubblegum looks really good on it, in my opinion. The helmet and the colors he has, I love that, like sort of like bluish gray, the super light gray. And then with the black, it looks really nice. It's like he's got a signal disruptor on his back, or whatever that backpack is. Mm-hmm. And then he comes with a pistol. He comes with some pretty cool stuff, and then that little whatever that tube thing is.
So you don't like Darklon, but you're all in on this plain-looking soldier.
But this one you could actually army build. Darklon is just like a waste of space. Every time you buy a second one, it just looks like you need hobbies. So.
I'm like lukewarm on this figure. I think the head sculpt's great. I like the overall design. He's got Grunt's overlay and a new backpack. The hose plugs into his helmet and then also into the backpack. Overall, like bare bones accessories and Mass Device Crystal.
We got new head sculpts though.
That is true. 2 new head sculpts. A lot of people out there are excited about the bubblegum blowing one. I think I'm like the one person who doesn't really care about that, but it's cool to see. So let's get to the ratings, Dex. There's not much more to talk about here.
I'd give him a 9 out of 10.
Whoa! 9 out of 10. I am not understanding where you're coming from. We're on different pages today. I'm giving Breaker a 6 out of 10. That's not to say it's a bad figure. 6 out of 10 is perfectly fine. It's just like an okay type of figure. But I do like the Joe Pro that's on his shoulder. It's nice that we still keep getting that every now and then. Next, over to another 2-pack. This one is the Mass Device Divers. There's 1 Joe, 1 Cobra. The Joe's in yellow, the Cobra's in red. Dex, I can already tell you got a reaction. Let's hear it.
It looks like we have ketchup and mustard. What is this?
This is true. And how about those head sculpts? Looks like we have a lot of the same head sculpts over and over and over and over, and just different skin tones. What do you think about that, Mr. Repaint?
I don't get why the whole body is one color for the yellow and red, and why they just look like they're Teletubbies. Where's the other colors, like the pink and the blue? Like, just give me the whole set if you're gonna do this.
These guys are from the cartoon miniseries, like the first 5 episodes of G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero. They had divers in the episodes. They were just generic divers. Not sure why we got Torpedo. Overall, I mean, there's a wide assortment of accessories, but there's nothing new. This is all stuff that we've seen before. It's basically the biggest repaint set we've ever received.
First time they've ever put 2 colors on most guns. They decide, let's just ruin it so you can't use it with other people and just put yellow and red on it. Man, that does not go with anyone. The red ones could maybe go with some Cobra guys, like some of the bats, like Destro, Baroness. Sure. But then the yellow one, that's going with nobody.
Yeah, it's jarring. You're right. You can only use it with this diver, and that's about it. Now, my prediction here is that this is going to be a peg warmer at Target. I don't think many people are that excited. No one was really waiting for this. No one was really asking for it. And the reaction so far from the community has been as expected. People are not that interested. We know with the retail exclusives, especially the Target line, it's all about repaints. Hasbro will say, if you buy these, we can make other figures. But at the same time,
but no one wants
people
these.
Want. Yeah.
These look horrible. I do not care who likes these out there. These do not look good. Who needs a Heinz? Like, where's the Heinz logo on these? That's the only thing these figures are missing. They have all this equipment, but no Heinz logo.
That's a fair point. I can't defend this. I'm just not into it. If anyone out there is excited about this or looking forward to it, great. No hate on that, but it doesn't do it for me. And in fact, it's
too bright, though. I don't get how this is supposed to be, like,
it's unnecessary.
Army. I don't get how G.I. Joe is supposed to be an army thing. Who in the army is dressing up in bright yellow and going diving? No one even has to shoot at you and you're gonna die.
All the weapons, again, we're getting Gung Ho's laser blaster, Duke's, and then we got a Grunt's laser blaster there, the Sunbow one. I mean, a lot of accessories here, but I don't know. I don't want to seem ungrateful, but I don't care about this.
It's not ungrateful when they're doing reuse.
I think we've come to a conclusion there. But let us know how you guys feel in the comments down below. Do you agree with us, or are we off base here? I don't think we are, and especially with the 4 head sculpts. If it's going to be 4 of the same, at least create a brand new head to go with all this reuse. And then they can be all the same head if it's someone that we've never seen before and we don't even recognize what the face is. Perfect.
They should have inverted the colors, though. Like, have the outside colors and the inside, instead of, like, swap the black and yellow and the red and black.
See, you're trying to make it look good. What they were trying to do was just give us what we saw in the cartoon series. And I'm putting that on the screen here, but then jump back to this. You're right. If it was, like, a black suit, and then the yellow elements and the red elements or accents.
It seems like they're just trying to make a new world record for peg warmers. Like, how long can we stay on the shelves for without getting kicked off?
Well, these are going to be joining Tiger Force, Tripwire, and Roadblock very soon. That was another 2-pack that just sits on the shelves. We're not criticizing anything here. This is stuff that we've already seen before, but
it's a good
I think we're seeing it too
but
much.
Not with these colors.
Yeah, and let's recap. This is Torpedo's body, which has been reused for the Action Sailor Recon Diver. And now we got this again, so we've already had reuse of this Hasbro.
The Torpedo figure I like, but I don't like when you guys reuse, like, the same thing 5 times in a row. You can reuse something a couple times, but not this many times.
Yeah, and I think they're really making it obvious that they're really just trying to make some money.
They have
here.
the eel, the diver, torpedo, and now these 2. And I bet you they're going to make some more later down the line.
Oh, for sure.
Probably like a winter one, even though they would freeze to death. Then a volcano one, and then all these other ones. They'll do land ones, even though they have swimming gear.
Well, whatever brings in the money, right? Hasbro's going through some tough times out there.
Tough times, getting a couple $1 billion in revenue. Oh no.
Well, let's get to the ratings. Do I dare even go down this road? Dex, out of 10, what are you giving the Mass Device Divers 2-pack?
A 4 out of 10. That's being generous right there, just because some of the weapons look nice, just not the yellow ones. So, 4 out of 10 right there.
I was going to give it a 5. I think I'm going to go with you and give it a 4. I agree. It's not bad. It's just
they could have done way better. Sure, oh, there was the cartoon back then. Make a retro one then and get double the money. That's what you guys love, clearly.
All fair points, too, right? So this is fair criticism here.
Don't get mad at me for telling you to stop doing repaints. You guys, like...
There's a way to do repaints, and we've covered that in the past, where we've said, yes, this is how to do repaints. I don't think this is it.
No.
Next, over to a character that, Dex, you've been critical of Hasbro for the first one that came out, and a lot of people are in your corner on that, by the way. The Retro Flint is now here to correct the mistakes of the first one.
They should have been the first one. They shouldn't even had to make this one.
Yeah, I think this is what everyone wanted originally, and I got Flint, like, I ran out the door the second that it was available. It was sold out in Canada for a while at first, back in the early days, because they weren't producing as many figures.
And then it came here and sat for around, like, 17 years on the shelves.
Well, yeah, it was a peg warmer for sure, along with Lady J, but this is something to get excited about. If this had come out early, we wouldn't need another one ever, really. Like, I'm good with this.
And then they decided, we're going to give him a whole new head sculpt. He did not look like Flint at all.
Yeah, but you know what? Check out that head sculpt. What do you think of this? He's got a smirk, just like the figure did. He's got his eyebrow raised. There's some personality on his face here. Overall, I'm looking forward to this. The beret does come off. Doesn't have a ton of accessories. Flint has a brand new shotgun here. He's got 3 pairs of hands. He's got a watch that can come off on his left wrist, and it reads 12 o'clock. And he's got his old school backpack. It's got flares on it, grenades, and a canteen. And he comes to the stand. So bare bones Flint, but everyone's going to be happy that he looks like Flint. What are your thoughts, Dex?
It's a really good figure. I just wish he came with one extra weapon, because what is a pistol and a shotgun going to do for you? But it's still a really good figure. It's a change from the last one, but it's...
Yeah, I think we have to adjust our expectations when it's the retro card line, because then they're trying to give us just a bigger version of what came out in the 80s originally.
I think they can make an exception, though, for this one, because when you do so bad on the first one, you should use this as a retry, so don't give me, like, bare bones accessories. I don't care what he came with back then, just make him look like back then, and give him more accessories to make up for the horrible face sculpt that probably, like, tortured so many kids walking down aisles.
But overall, this guy's a win?
Yeah.
I think so too. I love the camo pants. Everything about this guy looks awesome. It's mostly a repaint of Retro Duke, but man, I'm impressed. This is good. But let's get to the ratings. Dex, what would you give Retro Flint out of 10?
I'd give them an 8.5 out of 10. They at least tried to make it better, and they did. It looks a lot nicer than it did before. The weapons are good. I like that they have more colors on the shotgun, not ugly colors like the yellow and red. So it's actually like green and black, which looks nice. And he comes with a nice backpack, and the head sculpt looks good.
I would give Retro Flint a 7 out of 10, and that's not being harsh. It's a good score. I'm not going to let the nostalgia of this sway my opinion. It's a bare bones figure. It is what it is. It looks good, but yeah, I'm happy with it, and I'm going to get it. But 7 out of 10. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. Then next, Retro Cover Girl. What do you think, Dex?
It's pretty good. I like this sledgehammer that she has because it has so many different colors on it. It's not just an all black one. It has black handle with some orange on it and then an actual like silver on it. So that's nice. And the wrench she comes with. It has 2 different colors on it, which is pretty nice for something that small.
And that's reused from Clutch.
Yeah.
Now, she works with tanks, so she's got the wrench for obvious reasons. The sledgehammer, she's using that with tanks too. Whenever the treads get caught up, someone's got to go out and knock them back into place. That's what that's for. What do you think of the head sculpts?
They look a lot more realistic than they have in the past for some of them.
And they're kind of cartoony, but yeah, I agree with you. Like the eyes. It's all about the eyes. The eyes on this are fantastic. Paint application's amazing. Really well sculpted. I think the hair as well. On both head sculpts. The sculpting of the hair is just phenomenal. And then what about our laser blaster? I mean, we've seen that a million times, but look at the paint apps.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
I mean, that's how to make this look really good. Overall, I'm impressed. I think it's a good cover girl. I think it's better than the first one. Do you?
Yeah, I like the infantry rifle she has. It has lots of different paint apps on it. I think it has 3 colors. It looks like black, green, and gray, which is really nice. I just like the retro line that they have actual stands. I think all figures should have stands. It shouldn't have to be one line that has stands.
I think it looks good. I think this is the best cover girl we've ever seen. And
what would you give her out of 10?
I'll go again with a 7 out of 10, just like I did with Retro Flint. It's good. It's an improvement, but I'm not going to go too crazy with the score. 7 out of 10 is pretty fair. How about you?
I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Doesn't come with much, but she still does look like a good figure. And they gave a bunch of different paint apps on it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and the head sculpts. I mean, that's the star of the show here. Especially the one with the hat that says Pitt's Garage, the name of the headquarters for G.I. Joe. The ponytail. A lot of personality and charisma here. And she should have that, right? Because she was a supermodel.
Next, Retro Televiper. This figure looks amazing. It comes with 3 different head sculpts. It looks like they all have the same expression, but it says alert and then what the on 2 of them for like the writing on the goggles.
Yeah.
He comes with the same sort of stuff that the other one had, but he comes with a new vest, and it looks like they rolled up his sleeves, and it looks a lot thicker than some of the other ones that we've had before.
Yeah, this is a new Televiper, and I like it. I had this guy back in the 80s. The one thing is, the 3 head sculpts being the same, I get it. They talk about pushing and pulling. What are we doing here? It's the same head sculpt 3 times, different visor readouts. I'm not that interested in this one. I like the figure, don't care about the head sculpts.
I think they were kind of a waste in my opinion. I think they could have done some other stuff, or just give it weapons instead of the head sculpts, because I don't really care for the words, but still a nice figure.
Now, there are people out there who are excited about that and like that they did that, so totally fine.
I think they should just come with removable visors, and you can just slide on a new visor instead.
That'd be good.
Instead of wasting 3 different head sculpts with just a writing on it.
So, I mean, if you're into this, cool, happy for you, but I really don't care about those 2 head sculpts. Just the way he looks is perfectly fine. Love it. The backpack is one of my favorites in the entire Classified series.
Yeah, it's a really nice backpack. I don't think this one can really outdo the other one, though. And because the other one came with the flight pod, so you can't really outdo that one. So they're pretty similar. There's slight differences in the like figure with what he comes with, but I think this one is good, but I like the other one more.
The head sculpts there were 2 of the same, just different skin tones, and then that awesome flight helmet. Now, that makes sense to come with the Cobra Flight Pod. This guy is just like the ground Televiper, so I guess he doesn't need the flight helmet.
It looked kind of like a robotic helmet, though,
yeah.
Not even just a flight helmet. In my opinion, they should have just kept the same 3 helmets that they had, because then that would have been a lot better than just 2 different sayings on there.
So Lenny from the G.I. Joe team did address this, and he said that they had already done a full repaint of Televiper when they did the Python Televiper, so they didn't want to go and give us like another repaint, although they did with the divers and other ones. So it's never going to be perfect, but that's why this happened. But at the same time, we're talking about, we're not going to give you guys a full repaint. And there is some new here, but 3 head sculpts. I think that was a miss.
And it's a bit excessive in my opinion.
Most of these head sculpts are just going to sit in someone's drawer. It'd be one thing if you have head sculpts with different expressions. Those will be used more often. In this case, people probably just choose their favorite head sculpt and leave the other 2 in a box.
And for me, I'll just keep the main one if I had this. I would just keep the one with nothing on it, and just that would be it. I wouldn't touch the others.
Same here. Yeah. Ratings.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's a nice figure, but just doesn't come with much. I'm not like hating on it. Just one gun, fine. 1 backpack, 3 heads, but the 3 heads are all the same. So.
And that's my rating as well, 6 out of 10. And I'm a fan of Televiper, right? Again, I had him when I was a kid, got him in my 2nd grade birthday, and overall, I like the colorways as well. It seems a little brighter. Let us know how you guys feel about it, and there might be people out there who missed out on the Cobra Flight Pod. So this is a great opportunity to catch up on troop builders like him that you couldn't get before. Okay, and now after we've gone through all the new reveals, we're going to rank them from best to worst. So I'll give my list, and then Dex, you can give yours. In my opinion, the best overall is the Cobra Snake Armor. In 2nd place, we've got the Awe Striker and Crankcase. Love that. A lot of people are out on it. That's fine. Leaves more for the rest of us who are interested. Then I've got your favorite figure, Dex, Darklon. And the Slice and Dice 2-pack is very impressive. Then Retro Flint, CoverGirl, Retro Televiper, Mass Device Breaker. And then finally in last place, I've got the Mass Device Divers 2-pack. So that's how I feel about it. Dex, let's get your list of rankings. Which figure do you have best overall here?
Best overall, I have the Cobra Snake. It's not even a debate. It's just the best figure overall. 2nd, I have the Awe Striker. It's just a nice vehicle. That's really good. You have to have those as the top 2 because they're the best ones. They're both vehicles. They're really good. Number 3, though, I'm going to have Slice and Dice. I love the different sculpting they have on them, the outfits they have. The weapons they'll probably grow on me at some point. They're good, but just I've seen better ones for the ninja ones. Number 4, I have Breaker for Mass Device because I really like that. Yeah. And then I have Flint. I really like that they actually did the face better this time.
Yeah, we've been asking for that for a long time. And we got it, so we got to be happy with it, especially since it turned out well.
Then I have the Televipers. I really like those. The head sculpts, I wish that they had different ones. Next, I have CoverGirl. That's a really nice figure too. I like all the different accessories she has. And then I have the Divers. They're good, but I just don't like the colors at all. Take away almost every accessory they have that has yellow or red on it, and it would be a really good figure.
That would be an improvement. Yeah, they went a little heavy on the colors.
Everything has yellow and red on it.
Yeah, and you can't reuse it with other figures, like you mentioned. That's a really good point.
That's the annoying thing for me. Because I wish I could just get those guns and put them on other ones. I like when there's multiple colors on guns because it actually looks realistic. It doesn't look like it's just out of the 3D printer.
Yeah. We're not living in 1982 anymore where everything's one color.
And then the last one, and definitely least, is Darklon. Should not even be on this list. I don't think they should have made it. They should have just made it as like an April Fool's one and said, "Ha, you guys thought we were actually going to make this? No, we actually want a good line."
All right, to each their own. You're welcome to your opinion, Dex. We want to hear your guys' opinions. First of all, how do you feel about all these reveals? What are you most excited about? And how would you rank these? Are there any that you're going to pass on? And which ones are you absolutely all in on? You've heard our opinion. We want to hear from you, so sound off in the comments below. And there you have it. You've made it to the end of this episode, and we really appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. And we would love it even more if you take just 1 second of your time. Make sure that down below you are subscribed to the channel. We ask that you do, because that guarantees that we definitely get to see you back here again next time. Thanks for tuning into Viper Island, your one-stop shop for all things G.I. Joe. When there's relevant news, we'll be here to discuss all of it, together with you. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, have a great day, and yo Joe!